He was astral projecting when this happens. One night a man was astral projecting around 1 AM from his bed, where you have an intentional out-of-body experience. But something knocked his consciousness back into his body, and ever since he would hear noises around the house.
It's about 1 AM and I was astral projecting, and I normally do this often, but this time as I was walking up the stairs, something like knocked me back out, and ever since then I've been hearing knocking noises. Like, do you hear that? I'm just recording it because I don't know what's going on. It's like kind of weird. Hello? Hello? Anyone here? Hello? Anyone here?
A strange sound can be heard, and the door behind him slams shut on its own. Upon realizing this, he gets frightened and quickly ends the video abruptly. Shortly afterwards, he checks his room and finds nothing there, and then he goes downstairs and begins to feel like he's not alone. So he starts to record once again.
There's no door open here, right? No.
The lights on the ceiling are swaying, and as he looks towards the blinds, they begin to move aggressively. And at that moment, he runs upstairs and immediately packs his things to go stay at a hotel for a few nights. Could it be that by astral projecting, this man unknowingly allowed something into his home? I'm curious to see what you think.
The kids kept complaining of seeing a strange man, but as they looked at the cameras, they see it. A woman by the name Brenna explains that her sister and a co-worker worked at a music school with a basement as a daycare. In that basement, the kids would often complain of seeing a strange man in dark places, as well as employees feeling an evil presence.
Ghost story? That sounds completely unbelievable, but is entirely true.
After setting up security cameras, what they capture is horrifying. A white light can be seen floating by as things begin to be thrown around. Could this light be the strange man these kids kept seeing? Let me know your thoughts.
Algo está sonando en el cuarto. Creo que es la cama.
While filming inside the room, the man lifts the comforter slightly and points the camera toward the space beneath the bed. For a brief moment, a pair of pale, bare feet can be seen. Skeptics argue that someone could simply have been hiding underneath, a child, a friend, or someone playing a prank. But according to the man filming, when he looked again moments later, there was no one there. What unsettled many viewers even more was the folklore some people connected to the footage afterward. In parts of Latin American paranormal tradition, there are stories of childlike entities said to appear inside homes, often partially hidden beneath beds, in corners, or just outside direct view. Some compared the figure to legends surrounding La Niña de las Sombras, translated loosely as the Shadow Girl, a spirit described in online folklore as appearing silently inside domestic spaces before gradually becoming more aggressive over time. Others connected it to stories associated with La Llorona, where sightings involving children or crying voices are believed to signal a lingering supernatural presence inside the home. But according to the man, the encounter didn't end there. After several more days of disturbances, he decided to place a Bible near the exact spot where he claimed he first saw the feet. Then, during the early hours of the morning, he says he heard a voice telling him to look underneath it.
In this next video, a mother had recently shared a clip that freaked her out after noticing what was in it. One day, while looking at her security cameras, Adrienne Dakota notices something inside her living room, but more specifically, around her child's playpen. She wasn't sure as to what she was seeing, so she zooms in and replays the video to check. It goes without saying, but what she saw continues to keep her up at night. Now, it's important to note that before this incident, Adrienne had already been documenting strange things around her house, and for some reason, these occurrences had something to do with her children's toys. Now, it might be easy to write this off as being just a glitch or a toy that's starting to malfunction, but what's strange is that this was happening day after day, one toy turning on after another. And that's without mentioning that during this time, Adrienne's daughter had an imaginary friend who she said was very tall. Now keep this imaginary friend in mind because this detail becomes important much later in the video she recently posted. The reason why she was so freaked out by the toys turning on was because prior to this, her daughter kept mentioning this imaginary friend. And apparently, this so-called friend would show up in places where her daughter said it was, usually inside the house near the toys. Adrienne was so frightened by this, but more so by this video, because according to her, while taking care of her second child in another room, something terrifying appears in her living room. This is what she caught. To Adrienne, it appears that someone or something peeks out from behind her baby's playpen. Thankfully, her child wasn't in there during this moment, but strangely, even though no baby was occupying it, the figure itself looks like one. Whether it's just pareidolia or not, it's obvious that something is there. Considering that a bowl just fell off the shelf with no apparent cause, Adrienne can't help but wonder if whatever this was had been responsible for the other occurrences before. It is strange how each occurrence involves one of her children's things. Whether it's their toys or their small play enclosure, something unexplainable happens around them. This, of course, brings up the question, could this have been the supposed imaginary friend her daughter had previously mentioned? Or might this be something else entirely? Currently, and unfortunately, there is yet to be a definitive answer to this question.
He was working the night shift when he sees this. A man from San Lorenzo, Paraguay, who works the night shift at a warehouse experienced a highly unsettling moment. While walking through the truck unloading area of the lot, he notices what looks like another employee moving towards him. The man sees someone we can't see as he shakes their hand and explains to them they're waiting for the next drop-off. But as he walks away, he notices the man isn't there anymore. Creeped out seeing the other worker suddenly disappear, he's left completely shocked since he should be the only one working there, so he sits back in his station, overwhelmed with fear. After reviewing the footage, the man realized no one was ever there to begin with. There's many stories and videos of workers interacting with deceased former employees, even seeing them interact with objects moving right in front of them on camera. So could this really be people who used to work in places visiting from the afterlife? Let me know what you believe.
Do you hear that? Can you check the security footage? Oh my god.
The security app shows the front door wide open, as if someone has just walked in. Naturally, they assume it's a break-in, but when they replay the exact moment the door opens, there's no one there. To make things worse, a police siren can be heard outside around the same time, adding to the panic. But that was not all that happened.
What is it?
They hear their bedroom door open. Convinced someone is inside the house, they make a split-second decision to escape through the window. After the footage spread, many viewers blamed the wind, but the sisters posted another clip explaining why that theory doesn't hold.
Wondering that maybe the door was the wind, but clearly, as you can tell, you have to kind of force down to close it fully, and there's just so much space between, don't mind, there's kind of like a huge distance, so there's no way the wind could have gotten that.
After explaining the door situation, they showed what completely changed their perspective. A moment captured on camera that made them question everything they thought they knew about that day. Take a look.
At around 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, a teenage girl named Mildred Neva wakes up to find her dog snuggled up on her blanket. Rarely does her dog ever do this. For once, her dog has finally chosen to nestle up in bed with her and her sister, who both share the same bed. Although initially caught off guard, she proceeds to grab her phone to record this moment. But as she records, something happens that leaves her extremely terrified. After looking closely at the footage, she saw it. This is what she caught. According to viewers, it now makes sense as to why her dog had suddenly decided to snuggle up in bed. Either someone or something was in the room. The only other person inside was Mildred's sister, who was lying in bed beside her. But whoever, or whatever this might have been, is completely unknown to Mildred. They just seem to appear out of nowhere before vanishing in less than a few seconds. This definitely spooked Mildred, but it's the zoomed in screenshot of this clip that keeps her up at night. As many viewers have noted, something about this image makes them feel immensely uneased. Just who or what was this?